All right, well, first up this morning, did you know that out of all the Fortune 500 companies, only 16% have women on their board of directors?
That's incredible.
I wanted to say that slow, so it's sunk in.
16%. Get this, a recent study suggests that corporations with women on their boards, so with women, outperform companies with all male boards. So why is the percentage so low, and what can women do to get to the top? Our next guest answers those questions in her book. It is called The Board Game: How Smart Women Become Corporate Directors. Betsy Berkhemer-Credaire is the author, and in just a few hours, she's going to be speaking to a Rotary Club luncheon. I did that a while ago. I love Rotary Clubs about this topic, but she's here first to give us a sneak peek at her book and talk a little bit about this. Great to have you here.
Thanks, Molly. Thanks, Tiffany. And I'm from Los Angeles, and this is one of my first trips to Milwaukee. It's a beautiful city.
Really? Really? Have you had cheese curds or frozen
not yet.
Custard yet?
Okay. Later today.
Give you some time, right?
I hope that I helped bring the sunshine back to Milwaukee today and yesterday. But I'm delighted to be here. Thank you.
Nice to have you. What's your background as far as...
I'm a headhunter, and the credibility that I bring is that I place women on corporate boards and men. And my firm is called Berkhemer-Credaire, based in Los Angeles, and I have a staff of 8 and a male business partner, so it's not all women, and an office in Hong Kong. But what we do is bring senior executives to corporations who hire us to find the best. And corporations hire us to bring women on their boards. Not many corporations do currently, so we're trying to convince corporate boards about the value of having women on their boards, and also to educate women on how to get there. And you have a great group here in Milwaukee called Milwaukee Women Inc., just a marvelous group, and they're sponsoring my trip, and they're making sure that many of their members have the books so they understand how to get to corporate boards. And there are 3 steps I can get into to absolutely help.
That.
Yeah, let's kind of outline those, because I'm not gonna lie, I didn't realize that you really need to be placed sometimes on a board. I thought it was something you could apply for or connect with the board because you're passionate about it. So what are the steps that women need to know if they want to join more boards here in our town and be leaders?
Well, the difference of the different kinds of boards, the ones I'm talking about are the corporate public boards, publicly held companies, and those are boards where women and men are paid to serve on boards because they bring their professional expertise. They meet 4 or 6 times a year, and they are carrying a great deal of fiduciary responsibility, and outside directors are representatives of the shareholders on the board.
What's the kind of salary someone could make on a corporate board, publicly held?
Well, in the large ones, they can make $200,000 or better. Smaller boards, $50,000. But this is in addition to your day job. The key is to not retire. Corporate boards don't want people, men or women, who are retired. They want your wealth of business contacts that are current to inure to the company.
So tell us your 3. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask, do they have to have worked in that industry?
Yes, and that's a very, very smart question, because nobody's going to be on a board of a company outside their industry because of your expertise. So that it leads to the 3 steps, and the first is be visible in your industry, do speaking engagements, become an expert, write articles about your expertise in that industry. One of the women in the book is the general manager of the Port of Los Angeles, and she was totally unknown in the beginning of her career, but she got involved in her 30s, which is when I advise women to start getting involved in industry associations from the beginning of their careers. She got involved in the International Ports Association and worked her way up to being on the board of that nonprofit.
If you're in your 30s and 40s and 50s, is it too late for us?
No, it's not too late.
Okay.
It's not too late, but you need to get on your first board by the time you're in your 50s, because generally, and then you can stay on for 20 years before the retirement age of 75.
What are your other 2 tips?
The other 2 tips are build your business connections with people who serve on corporate boards. Decide what companies you might want to serve on someday, and get to know the men and women who currently serve on those boards. Now, here in Wisconsin, of the top 50 companies, only 14.4% of the seats on corporate boards here in Wisconsin are held by women. The best company with the most women board members is Alliant Energy here in Wisconsin. I think they're based in Madison.
Okay.
And they have
good for you for doing your research.
They have.
I'm impressed.
Well, I'm glad. I wanted to have that local information. Alliant has 5 of their 10 board members are women, and that is brilliant. And that is the more than any other company in the country, or nobody has more than 5 women board members of their board. So that's 50% for them. WE Wisconsin Energy has I think 3 doing well.
Okay.
Harley Davidson has 2.
Okay.
And
they could do better. We're speaking at Harley Davidson tomorrow.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Well, you can compliment them on that.
Yeah.
And then the third tip is to get prior board experience so that you have the governance knowledge on how to run companies from your nonprofit boards. Most women are on nonprofit boards, and so you can use those connections and be on. You can be on certainly your favorite child's school board, but you could do that as an aside, but be on United Way or a hospital board or large boards where you actually make connections with business people who are on boards.
We ran out of time, but I don't know if very quickly you can answer, why does it make sense for women to be on boards? What is it they add that's so great?
They do add perspective. All decisions that are made affect us in business day to day, and they bring a perspective, just like a good marriage, a good team that has both women and men on the board. And women want to make a difference. They bring their own experience. I could give you a couple examples, but I think we've run out of time. But it does make a difference, and it does make the companies, as you said about the Credit Suisse report, does make companies more profitable. So I hope that more women here in Milwaukee will join up with Milwaukee Women Inc. and help this momentum continue to build.
I love the things that you said, especially because you gave us local information so that people watching it really can make sense to them, and they can get started doing what you're talking about. It's absolutely fantastic. You're speaking at a Rotary luncheon a little bit later. I want to remind people the title of your book. It is The Board Game: How Smart Women Become Corporate Directors. Pick up a copy, a great read.
It's on Amazon.
It's on Amazon.com.
Kindle too.
Great.
Okay.
Don't come back to Milwaukee
Thank you,
without
Tiffany.
visiting us again.
I'd love to. Thank you for having me on
Here
board
you go.
today.
Absolutely.
We have a gift for you.
Oh yeah, yeah. You need your birthday bag
to carry all your
all
books,
my books
to your Rotary appearance.
I love it. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you so much.